All right, so Tracy Cortez and Alex Pereira had just about the shortest lived relationship I think we've ever seen in the public eye. I wanted to make a video on this, and I was hoping they'd still be together, but they've already broken up. Alex is such a pimp, and he's such a player. He's already moved on to bigger and better things. Bigger and better Latinas with bigger and better booties. You know, I can't blame him. Hers was it's all right, but it could be a lot better. Homegirl needs some hip thrusts, some hack squats, some hip hinge squats. She could do better, you know. We've dealt with Tracy on this channel before. We've handled Tracy on this channel, and we about to do it again. No, I'm just playing. But I wanted to make a video that has a bit of a deeper point, and I've had experiences with this. I have dealt with this. I've seen this go to ruin and fall to lows that no one can ever really recover from, that do irreparable damage. That can situations that turn catastrophic pretty quickly in many ways. So I wanted to talk about why it's not a good idea to ever date like your gym partner, your training partner, your study buddy, your coworker, whoever it is. It's not a good idea to what they call shit where you eat. Obviously, I don't think that's like the best way to describe it, but it is true. There is an essence, there's a quality, there's a dynamic, a modality of shitting where you eat, so to speak, right? You're mixing relations, love, and business, and logic, and professionalism in a way that you should not mix them. So I've just seen it so many times, but I want to get into why that's a terrible idea, and why, especially in a sport like MMA, you don't want to date anyone that you train with. And I would say you don't really want to date anyone that's in the sport. Maybe they could be in the sport, but you don't want them to be like your training partner. You don't want them in the training room. You don't want them to be a part of that dynamic. They can have their team and you have your team. It is a bad idea when you start mixing these things. One of the biggest reasons is because a lot of you guys don't have a lot of experience with girls. So when you get one, you obsess over them, right? This is getting into like some dating advice, some life advice with relationships. I don't really want to get too far into that on this channel. I have another channel where I talk about stuff like that. But a lot of you guys aren't really good with girls, and you don't get girls. So when you get one, a lot of you become, especially if she's hotter than a girl that you're used to being with, you get obsessed with them. And it's very distracting for you. You can't focus. You can't do what you need to do. You can't optimize your training. You can't focus. You can't have those really hard, difficult training days where it's just you losing most of the day because she's there and you're afraid to lose in front of her because now your ego's involved. Say one of your boys beats your ass that day. Now you're upset. Now you're going to try and kill him in the next training session or the next round because you're upset that he beat your ass in front of your girl. If you think these dynamics aren't real, they are very real. You probably just don't want to admit them to yourself, or you're not aware of them. It distracts from you becoming the best fighter, athlete, businessman, whoever it is that you can be. It distracts from that. This is why you do not date someone who is in the same proximity to your professional aspirations or athletic professional aspirations in Alex Pereira's modality or his situation. So, yeah, ultimately, it just doesn't really help you. It doesn't help you. And there's no real benefit, like, especially dating a female fighter, there's no benefit for males to train with females. There's none. There's no benefit they provide us. If I want to spar with, like, say, a pro UFC fighter female, and we're doing a kickboxing day, I'll just find a 14, 15-year-old boy who's been training for a couple years. It's about the same thing. It really is. It's about the same thing. Unless she's like a top 5 or a top 3 female, or it's Valentina or Amanda Nunes or something like that, unless it's one of the females that actually is kind of high level, and I say kind of high level because even Valentina and Amanda aren't competing with any of the dudes in the top 15 or anywhere near it. Maybe the lowest of the low UFC fighters they might do okay against, but they'd still lose. Jorge Masvidal actually talked about that in an interview with Amanda Nunes, that they would bring in low-level UFC dudes, and even then, they would have to tell them to go light. Otherwise, it wouldn't be fair. So there's no benefit for men to spar or engage in combat sports with women seriously. If you want to have a day where you mess around, I get it, but when you're actually trying to learn, you're actually trying to grow, there's no benefit to it. This is why I don't believe in men and women training together, specifically in combat sports. There's just no room for it. There's no need for it. You have to baby them. If you hurt one of them, now you're an asshole. If you go too hard, now you're an asshole. She can go hard, but you can't go hard. It's like this weird dynamic that can go south really quickly. There's many reasons why it's a bad idea for females and males to train together in combat sports gyms, but especially when you're dating one, those characteristics and things I just mentioned, those potential warnings become magnified and amplified. And things can end really, really badly. Especially if people in the gym start taking sides when there's a breakup. It can end in a very damaging fashion. So there really just is no benefits to it. It's a bunch of downsides. There's more downsides that I can't even really think of right now. I want to keep it rolling in one take, but I'm trying to think of some of the other downsides that there is. Oh, it destroys your at-home life. Like, if you're actually training with them and going hard and kicking them and hitting them, or say maybe you go a little too hard on them or something happens that upsets you, that's going to affect your home life when you get home. That's absolutely going to be deleterious towards other aspects of your life if things aren't going well in the training room. It's better to keep things separate and keep things in boxes versus to have everything just connect in a very convoluted and unorganized way. It's better to keep things separate, because now you're asking someone to do too many roles, and something's eventually going to be ruined. Something's eventually going to be ruined, or just it's not going to be anywhere near as optimal, or I would say as pure as intentional, and it's not going to have the same flow. Because if something happens in the training room, now you drive home together. Now you have to, go shower and then eat and then get along with each other in the same household and then be boyfriend and girlfriend or parents. There's very few people that can do it. There's almost no one who's at a super high level that can do it. Tell me what super high level MMA couples out there. There's that patchy mix dude, and I know he's dating one of the females, but he can't really compete in the top 5 or the top 10. That's the funny thing too. All the Bellator and PFL fighters have failed coming over here. That's another video, but it doesn't work. Do not date your training partners. Stay focused, especially you dudes. You get way too distracted and your ego gets involved. Stay focused. Stay consistent. Stay disciplined. My name's Angelo. This is The Art of Violence. If you like this video, consider clicking the like button. Let me know what you guys think. I'm curious of your thoughts on this one. I'll engage with every single comment, as I always do, or at least try to do. And if you want to see more, consider subscribing. If you hated it, you think I'm an asshole, go ahead and tell me in the comments. I want to hear about that too. And until next time.